Mike, have you ever had a strong hunch or a feeling about something and it turned out you were completely right?
I have. And you know what that is? That's intuition. And the interesting thing about it, in this video, we're going to talk about intuition and how it relates to hypnosis and the unconscious mind. So stay tuned.
All right, so in our daily lives, we are experiencing this all the time. So even if you set aside the idea of hypnosis for now, we'll bring it back, there's all kinds of things happening all around us where we make gut feel decisions, or we get gut feel a bit. Like a simple example, let's say you're driving to my house here to record this video, you're flying down the 407, and some car in front of you makes a little motion and you immediately conclude,
oh, he's going to pull in front of me, I should change lanes or put the brakes on, whatever. Yeah, we do that all the time, unconsciously.
A lot of the time, you're correct about it, right? Now, maybe another example would be you're at your office, you're working on your computer, and your telephone rings.
I go, I bet you that's Ryan. Hello. Hi, Ryan.
And somehow you had a strong feeling, and you were correct that it was Ryan in this case. Now,
first of all, intuition is not something psychic, although it can really seem like that at times. It's science. So what is intuition? We believe intuition is your conscious mind getting your attention based on things that are happening in your unconscious mind. The processes going on down there.
Right, and so if we think back to the examples, now we can talk about them a little bit more. So let's say you're on that highway and that car in front of you makes a little quick motion.
Barely discernible.
That's your intuition, and you're pattern matching to all your past experiences and knowledge of driving for years and years and years. And so when that happens, you're pretty correct. Your neural pathways are firing and making something.
Yeah, say put on the brake, get out of this lane. We're unconsciously noticing these tiny things, and they're bubbling up to our conscious awareness, getting our attention.
And similarly, when your phone rings in the office, maybe it's happened before at a certain time of day, or while you're involved in a certain form of studying for class and don't want to be interrupted.
At all.
And you're typically getting a phone call from somebody and you have a good feeling it's probably that same person.
Right, because the brain has seen the pattern in the unconscious mind and it's presented it to the conscious mind.
Right.
The unconscious is huge. Right. And what about the third one? The person is suspected of having an affair and it turns out they are. His wife may have noticed unconsciously he's changed his aftershave. He's showering more frequently. He's coming home a bit late. There's more miles on the car, although consciously she may not have registered any of these.
Right.
The unconscious puts them all together and says, he's running around.
Yes, there's the unconscious passing a message to the conscious, hey, something might be going on here. The conscious now can decide, you know what, I'm going to go dig into the data and find information and support the hypothesis and go, oh, yes, this is probably correct. So that's pretty much how it works. So how does this get leveraged?
Exactly. Well, the unconscious is so powerful. If you remember it, it contains pretty well every conversation you've ever had, every movie you've ever seen, every book you've ever written. All your whole life is there to draw from. And it's always monitoring everything going on around you. Your conscious mind may be 7 bits of information per second, plus or minus 2. Your unconscious may be 3 to 20 million per second. That's a lot of power down in the unconscious mind.
So number one thing here is intuition is a really good proof or piece of evidence that as hypnotists and as people experiencing hypnosis, your unconscious has a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, a lot of resources that can be used to solve problems. Now, what's the second thing that we want to explain?
Okay, well, this is showing us every reason we can rely on our own unconscious minds when we're doing a hypnosis or hypnotherapy session. We don't have to read a script if we recognize our unconscious is gathering information from the client at the same time.
Right, and that's the key difference between doing, I want to call this doing this real hypnosis versus the schools that are just teaching you to read the magic words at people.
Somebody. Yeah.
How are you ever going to rely on the wealth of your intuition, your unconscious, that signaling pathway, if you're stuck with this idea that I'm going to read the magic script at you, Mike, for your anxiety that you're dealing with? Okay,
I don't have any. Don't listen to him.
Point being, by forcing ourselves into something like a script, or forcing ourselves into something like this, forget the script, let's say you plan exactly the intervention.
What you're going to do,
I know I'm going to do this induction, then I'm going to do the such and such protocol, whatever. If you plan in advance, you're leaving nothing there for your vast unconscious and your intuition to intervene and give you a better plan.
Now, that's a good point. If you watch the late, great Milton Erickson work, it's entirely intuitive. Switching to stories, offering information to the person. He's picking up stuff from them, from his unconscious mind as well. So if you don't plan, if you have the fundamentals in place, if you have all the foundations of good hypnotic skills, you can lean on your unconscious because, as the great Ted James used to say, trust your unconscious mind.
Because if you can't trust your unconscious mind, whose unconscious mind can you trust? I love that line. It's fantastic. So what we're really going to wrap up here in saying is, if you learn great hypnosis skills, if you learn the fundamentals of hypnosis, and that includes understanding that there's this vast unconscious resource that your client and you have access to. Therefore, you shouldn't make detailed plans about how you're going to run a session, and you shouldn't read scripts of people. You need foundational skills. Instead, that's what we teach at the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. And so if you want to check it out, you can get started for free. Just check the link in the description underneath this video. While you're here, you may as well hit that subscribe button, and then smash that bell so that you'll get notified of our videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks again, and good night.